was recently in talks with an Afghan television network about being the host of an entertainment show in Afghanistan. A music-based show, something like Australian Idol, but the Afghan version. I know, the idea of a music-based show in somewhere like Afghanistan, it's a little bit ironic, isn't it? But these shows are a form of escapism, just like they are for us. So it was still a very exciting development. After all, I've been building my career as a radio announcer, and this could have been the exciting next step. Most parents would be proud, wouldn't they? But when I told my parents about it, they were literally horrified. I remember calling my mum and saying, "Mum, there's this exciting new opportunity." And her response was, "Have you lost your mind?" And why do you think they felt that way? Because Afghanistan is one of the most dangerous places in the world at the moment. And anyone who has a high profile, especially in media, could potentially be a target. Especially being a female and the host of an entertainment show, and in the past, people have had threats made against them. So my parents were absolutely horrified. Because it's daring and dangerous. But being daring and dangerous is in my blood. My parents were boundary pushers, and I've learnt living on the edge from them. 26 years ago, my family first migrated to this beautiful country as Afghan refugees. My father, an architect, my mother, a midwife, both made the brave decision to escape the country that was invaded by Russia at the time. They paid a smuggler with 3 children on horseback in the middle of the night, and they escaped the country. Very little food and water. Along the journey, they couldn't sleep because they had the threat of predatory animals. My father and mother's toenails fell off because of how much they had to walk. And it was conscription at the time, so if you got caught, it meant death on the spot. My sister, who was 6 months old, was put on a horse, but they had to carry her. And we all know how heavy a baby can get carrying through a shopping centre. You just want to put the baby down. Imagine if you couldn't put the baby down because your life depended on it. It was the most difficult decision of their life. They finally made it across to Pakistan. Along the journey, there was hovering helicopters, bombs and rockets. And my brother and my sister were both asking the universal question, "Are we there yet?" Which I'm sure they appreciated. Settling in Pakistan initially proved difficult as well. I was later born in a refugee camp in Pakistan. Eventually, things started brightening up. My father started working as an architect again, my mother as a midwife. But my father recognised that it was only through education that came opportunity. So, off they went again. My father made many important contacts in Pakistan, and one who would potentially change the course of our lives forever. He helped us migrate to Australia. We first arrived in what is now known as Villawood Detention Centre. 26 years ago. It wasn't a detention centre at the time, but a place where migrants and refugees were housed while they were in the state of transition. So incredibly grateful for all the opportunities this country has provided. But it's scary to think that had my parents not escaped, and had Australia not accepted us to migrate here, where would we be now? The realities are that I'd be living the life of Faria. Faria is my first cousin. She lives a little north of Kabul. She's in her 20s, has hopes and dreams to work, fall in love, have a career, get married, and take control of her own life, just like any other woman. But the realities of her fate that she may not ever have that. Faria always wanted to be a doctor, but she was only allowed to go to school till she was 10 years old. Faria wakes up on a thin mattress on the floor. She shares her room with 4 other people. I wake up on my cotton bed sheets with my electric blankets. Faria's task every day is to dress and feed her 8 siblings. I wake up wondering, what flavour protein smoothie will I have today? Blueberry or strawberry? Faria can't leave the house. I get into my little hatchback, drive myself to work, and rely on the songs on the radio to get my mind off the traffic. Faria prepares the same fire for the same breakfast of bread and tea every day. I wake up wondering, what heels am I going to wear today? Wedges? Will I wear flats? The furthest Faria can go on her own is to the edge of her front garden. With a swipe of a credit card and my passport in hand, I could be on the other side of the world tomorrow. Faria still wants to go to school, but she may never. That's the realities of her fate. And the stark reality is that could have been mine, had Australia not allowed us to migrate here. So incredibly grateful for all the opportunities that this country has provided. When I hear people saying, send them back, you are not welcome here, I feel like they are talking to me and my family. What are some of the words you use when you talk about refugees? What are some of the words that you hear? Do you say refugee? Do you say asylum seeker? Illegal? Unauthorised? Desperate? Hopeful? Dangerous? Do you see a boat full of hope or a boat full of threats? I want you to take a look around you. How many people here unknown to you could be refugees or the children of refugees? What are some of the words you would use to describe them? So my family are refugees. What words would you use to describe my family? Here are some of the words I would use. Hard workers, sacrifice for their children, hopeful, explorers, visionaries, devoted parents, architect, midwife, journalist, student, manager, but most of all, loving. 26 years later, my father's still a practicing architect, my mother a retired midwife, and 3 siblings who work hard in respectable fields and are an asset to society today. But that's only because my parents pushed their family boundaries and made sacrifices. And that's the only reason I'm standing before you today. I hope that in 25 or 26 years' time, the children of today's asylum seekers and refugees have the same opportunities that I do. It might be tempting for us to say no, but when we're saying no, what are we saying no to? In Australia, we are boundaryless. We create our own destiny and our own opportunities. Asylum seekers have all the qualities we want in an Australian. Someone with resilience, someone who's a boundary pusher, and someone who is willing to do everything for the sacrifice and for the sake of their children and their families. Isn't that what every parent wants for their children? It is said that luck is when preparation meets the moment of opportunity. Australia is the lucky country. How generous are we willing to be with all this opportunity? And it hasn't come with preparation from past leaders and governments that we have taken, all the contributions and have benefited from multiculturalism today. Australia is my home. I was invented here. This country has provided me with so many opportunities. And because of our relatively free democratic society, I've only had the same hurdles as any other young woman of my age would face. But I have choices, and I have options. Many refugees and asylum seekers, like Faria, are thirsty to learn, to achieve, and to dream. But they may never have that opportunity. So maybe at this point in time, it won't be hosting an Afghan TV show in Afghanistan. For now, I'll continue contributing to this society by working in media and hopefully being a positive example to other refugee women and children and showing them that in this country, anything is possible. For now, I'll hopefully be a model to everybody else who has stereotypes, unconscious stereotypes about refugees and asylum seekers. Many refugees have dreams, and I have a dream. I dream of a day that we can change conversation about asylum seekers and refugees. And I'm starting with that. I'm starting that dream by having this conversation with you today. And hopefully you'll realize that even the person sitting next to you, or your mother or your sister or your friend, is just like any other asylum seeker who wants to make a contribution to this society. I hope you'll share my story and help change conversation. I am very, very, very lucky. I know what I'm going to do with my luck. What are you going to do with yours? Thank you.